All right, folks, back on the Bossman show for the show representing UMES, the Eastern Shore, also as the shore up there in Maryland. My man, Sixers fan from New York City, Jason Crafton with me. What's up, bro?
Well, I'm a New York Knicks fan, even though you was busting my chops last time when we were going to the John Stark story. But having worked for the Sixers, I embrace the Sixers as well. And we got some fun stuff going on here to talk about. But man, let's have fun. Always good to be on the Boss Man show.
No doubt, bro. Like, let me tell you, man, you being 5-5 right now, man, makes me so happy, brother, because knowing what happened to your guys last year, not being able to play, all right.
Yeah.
COVID shut you down for the whole year. Having to sell your program without having playing a game, and then getting a staff late, and you 5-5. Talk about your kids persevering through all that drama, all those adverse moments, and they're 5-5, third in the MEAC right now.
Yeah, well, I appreciate you, recognizing just what we've been through here. Anytime you cancel a season and try to, get back to action, I don't think anybody really knows what that's like except for the people that are actually in it, And
Yes.
These guys have really persevered. When we were playing the UConn game, I was telling Steve Lapis, like, he was shocked to hear that we didn't do any 5-on-5 last year. Like, the entire year, we didn't practice 5-on-5. Then the summertime was when we actually started doing some 5-on-5 stuff. So shout out to our guys for just, sticking with the process and, sticking with me, sticking with the institution as we kind of work through a lot of things. Like you said, we didn't get our staff in place with hiring freezes and COVID transitions and all types of stuff till right before the actual game play started. So, the bond between myself and my players is so dynamic. It's so unique. We cried together last year, not playing, we bonded at a higher level than ever. And this crew is on a mission, and I love them to death. We got good kids, and they want more. We're 5-5, and as you know, for Maryland Eastern Shore, that's further along than it's been at this time of the year. But these kids aren't satisfied, and we want more.
No doubt, Jason. Think about this, brother. Like, you are pretty much starting from scratch again in year 3. I mean, let's be real about it. It's your third year, but you're starting from scratch. And to accomplish what you've accomplished, and your kids being pissed off, and use that as motivation to go out and play, win on the road at a Fordham, play St. Joe's tough, get a win over Lehigh, get a win, get in UConn up there in Hartford. They played you at the big arena in Hartford, the XL Center. They played you in Hartford outdoors, and caused them problems. Your kids are playing inspired, man. Tell me about that, man. How have your kids used last year as fuel for this year?
Yeah, I think it's funny you said, like, pissed off. I think any player that has something taken from them would have a little bit of edge, a little extra frustration. That just comes from that. I think they were excited to get back to playing, and that some of that grit and edge you see is part of what we do in terms of our mentality of being tenacious and the one-way culture we try to create. But another one is just that extra motivation just to get back to doing what you love when it was taken from you. So they still remember not being able to do it last year, and they're still are motivated to continue to push this program forward at an even faster rate than I think that they thought it could happen even. So that's been exciting to see those guys just buy into what we're trying to do and push forward through all the adversity. And that's how we're on the road scrapping like that. And, they're executing game plans, and we still can get better. And I think that's why we want more.
No doubt. And I saw some rankings, brother. You was ranked dead freaking last out of all 358.
Yeah.
And I know for sure that you're not the worst coach in college basketball. I know that for sure. Okay. I know that for sure. I know some coaches that should be there, not you. But to be ranked that low, like that, lack of respect to say this team is garbage, and these prognosticators say that about your kids and yourself, man. Now you in the mid 160s. So talk about that, man, because if it was me, they'll piss me off right there. You think I ain't nothing. So, but we go out here and show you on this court here, though.
Yeah, we talked to our guys about that at the beginning of the year. The Sports Illustrated article that came out that said ranking everybody from number 1 to dead last, Maryland Eastern Shore. It's like right there on the cover. And we don't use that type of stuff as motivation. That's just facts. We didn't play last year, so where would you rank us? It'd be hard to evaluate where to put us. Now, there's other teams that didn't play last year as well, but I think when you look at the history of Maryland Eastern Shore basketball, the easiest thing to do is just to put us last, right? So, we got a below 30% winning percentage. So 7 out of 10 times or more, the country is used to seeing us lose. So we're trying to change that mindset in terms of the culture that we're trying to bring here, in terms of the style of play and the type of player and the brand of basketball we put on the floor. So it really wasn't motivation for us, but I think that we kind of use that as just, these are the facts. I mean, when we were at UConn, they called me James Crafton. They got our players' names wrong. We were at Lehigh. They called us Maryland Eastern Store. Like we were a store, not the shore. You know what I mean? So like, whether we call it lack of respect or whatever, we just say these are the facts. We don't need these dynamics as motivation. If you want to call me James Crafton, that's okay. When we come and you throw the ball up, we're going to still go at you. I don't need that to motivate me if you call us the wrong name or whatever the case may be. But I think when you look at those rankings and you see us in that top 150, 160 area via RPI, what's intriguing about is the other teams that are surrounding it. The Atlantic 10 teams, the ACC teams. There was a time where we were neck and neck with Maryland, College Park, and I think that's a testament to some of the close games that we played against some high level opponents throughout the course of the preseason, and some of the wins we've gotten, and also being undefeated at home. So all testament to our guys locking in, playing hard, and buying into what we're trying to do.
James Crafton's like an author of a book or something. James Crafton.
That's what they call me, man. It's like James Crafton. I was like, hey, you know what we gonna do, man? Let's
head coach of the Eastern Store, James Crafton.
Yeah.
It reminds me, bro. I went to speak at this event here in Atlanta. They called me CB the Boss Man. Who the hell is CB the Boss Man? Glad to have you here, CB. I said, bro, I wouldn't even walk up to the stage, bro. I just sat there.
But I tell you what, though, when you played, and no one knows more than you about the money tour, and when you got to play these bye games, and you mentioned we beat Fordham, and we in double overtime, and you get that win, and whether they said your name's right or wrong, they still got to shake your hand after you beating them and still give you a check,
Yes.
And UConn wasn't too happy about, they thought they had a night off. And when we took them to the distance, it was an NCAA tournament atmosphere there, CBS College Sports Network. I think you saw some of the highlights, and our guys really rose to the occasion and gave them a competitive game. One in which wasn't great at the handshake line. That staff was not too happy with us. They're like, you guys are better than we thought. I'm like, well, we didn't play last year. I mean, what do you want me to do? We're going to come out and we're going to take it to everybody that we play. And that's our mindset, regardless of whether it's a bye game or not. We're trying to be a one-way culture here where we approach everything the same way.
No doubt, man. Like you said, brother, the MEAC, the SWAC, it's always the lower major conference is always that the bye game got fun, everything else for everybody else. But the fact is, you winning those bye games, man. Next year gonna be harder for you even to schedule some more games next year, brother. They could be like, we ain't playing them no.
Oh yeah.
Year.
Well, all the handshake lines of all the bye games so far have been, we're not playing you guys ever again. So the only thing we can do now is go to the NCAA tournament because we got to find a way to get some money. So that's the only option now.
Yes, sir. Hey, look, that's great though that you're in that class now because, like you say, you want to be where the guys want to play you. When they want to play you, something's wrong.
Yeah. And I think that's when you're building a program, and that's the dynamic, when you're no good, you're going to get the bye games, you're going to get all the extra money and things like that. But as you progress, I think Rob Jones at Norfolk State and North Carolina Central, those guys can tell you, Lavelle, as they've gotten better and they've built their programs up, it's harder to get bye games, and it's going to be harder to bring in revenue in non-conference games. So, building a winning basketball program is something that changed the trajectory and the dynamic in terms of how you raise money. Now it becomes about playing in the postseason and trying to get money in that regard, and hopefully we're on a program that's heading in that kind of direction where we don't have to just rely on guaranteed games, that we can start bringing in some money via what we do in basketball on the court.
And your team is seeing different styles before you get into MEAC play. The MEAC's down to 8 teams now. Going to be a tight race when you play the other 7 schools every night. So talk about seeing different styles early in the year. I think it's this tough competition. So when we get into MEAC play, it's like, okay, I've seen tougher already.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like when you play at Fordham, you're playing in New York, and I'm a New York guy, so you're playing some gritty, Fordham basketball team in a tough environment. They like to spread the floor, take you one-on-one. They had a really good big man that was all over the glass. So right in that game, you're trying to stop high-level talent from making one-on-one plays. When you're playing at UConn, now they're running a lot of action, and they've got great size, and you're trying to keep those guys off the glass. And we're mixing things up with how we do in the UConn game and the St. Joe's game by playing 5 guards and trying to take their bigs out the game, and making them adjust to us. And that was one of the strategic things we did to give ourselves a chance to win that game. Some of these, or be competitive in these games, I should say, losing to St. Joe's at the buzzer and taking UConn the distance. But then you look at like a game like Lehigh on the road where you're playing against a Patriot League team. And anytime you play a Patriot League or an Ivy League team, you're going to be running against a lot of sets, a lot of continuity, a lot of, backdoor cutting and cerebral things. So the dynamic and the different styles of play that we've seen gives us a great chance to, be ready for the MEAC, which is going to be super tough this year. I think everybody's better. We've got some great coaches in this league. Everyone's done a great job recruiting. So it's going to be an exciting year in the MEAC.
Yeah, and now you all know you're going to be the 8 teams now. That's been settled now with the new commissioner coming into the MEAC there. So talk about this, what you said, the MEAC getting better, because I mean, Howard's better. They lost a pro when they're better, so you guys, Robert Jones does what he does up there. Stan Waterman's building something down there in Delaware State there. So like, talk about that league, man. It's from top to bottom, how in non-college conference play, how you all have gotten better collectively, as you just said.
Yeah, I think when you look at it, you said, we're third in the MEAC right now, but I think like once you remove the non-one games from the standings, you kind of see where everybody's at. It's really right now Norfolk State and everybody else. I think that's really where it's at right now. They've been the most that they're rated right now in the mid-major top 50. They've got some great road wins. They've won all their games at home. So I think that right now they're the kings of the league in the first semester. And then so right now, they also won the league last year, so they're the ones that have to be dethroned. Now you got your usual suspects of a North Carolina Central that's historically been up there. I think Kenny's doing a great job at Howard, and he's got them playing really good basketball. Stan down at Del State's a great coach. He's done some great things over his career in basketball, especially in the state of Delaware. So I know he's going to do a great job recruiting. You got Coach Murdoch down at South Carolina State. They just got a big win over South Florida the other night, so, and then you got Juwan Howard, who played in the NBA, building that Coppin State program. He's always got talent in there. So I don't think I've missed anybody in that. But if I did, I just think that the league is extremely strong this year I think Norfolk State, they're the kings right now. And I think everybody else right now is really in a fist fight for that next spot.
No doubt. And bro, look at this, man. Like, I think you're setting a successful foundation, though, because whatever you do right now is gold, because you're setting the foundation again from year one, because you all got better in year one and COVID killed your year. But I'm seeing that foundation being set again that you set in your first year. So whatever you do this year is setting that standard for years to come with the development, the recruits you have, having a staff in there, so guys can see what the show is all about.
Yeah, and I think, as you're building that foundation, one of the things I told my staff and our players is, why can't we go win it right now? As I'm sitting here telling you it's Norfolk and everybody else, what I'm saying is Norfolk has kind of established themselves as the kings, and I think a lot of people get caught up in winning the championship. We get caught up in trying to put ourselves in position to contend, like everybody gets talked about. And that's where you focus on the process, what you're doing every single day. But I think this team is really fired up and driven to trying to put themselves in position to compete to win that championship, and I think, when you look at that, so like when we play Norfolk State in that MEAC conference opener, that's going to be an intense game, and that's going to be one that you're going to want to follow. Our guys will be ready to go, and we're going to try to go out there and take down those guys. No different than we played UConn, no different than, when we were going up against Fordham. We're going to go in and try to, take down the kings of the league. That's the mentality. We understand what it takes to get there, and we understand who's there right now. We know we're not there right now, so just trying to be very aware of where we are so we understand what we got to do to get to where we want to be.
No doubt. And I feel like you're doing that, bro. Like you said, man, for your kids to actually get out there and compete, that's going to make them be better going down the road. And having a COVID year can make them older in a couple of years to really cause problems for somebody because, as you know, name of the game is you want to have guys in the pipeline developing, but you also want to be old at the right spots too to really compete.
You know, those good North Carolina Central teams, they used to always have those old rosters, man. They used to have those guys, grown men, 23, 24 years old, you know. So I think, you know, in this league especially, you know, the older your roster, very transfer-driven league, you know, so whether you're getting the transfers or you're retaining your guys or you're doing a red shirt thing or whatever the case may be, you got to find a way to have grown men on your team. And usually the team that's got the best grown men wins, you know. So we got some good older guys that are only young just because of the experience, right? Like we have an older roster, but they're young from an experience standpoint just because, you know, we got 10 guys playing this year that this is their first time playing Mount Eastern Shore basketball. So there's only 2 guys on the roster that will be my first year, and then we didn't play last year. So we're still learning on the fly, having fun with it, and doing the best we can.
No doubt, man. I saw your hype videos in the locker room, man. Like, I saw you getting hype, man. I saw you, man. I said, y'all getting it in down there. See, that's some, hey, throwing the way. Y'all, look, y'all both had it going on, man. They had a power for real. Hey, I can tell you guys are together. I mean, when coaching, you all can get together and have a good time after a win. That means you and the coach are down. Because I've been on teams where the coach and I, we just like, okay, we won, screw you. But we won, screw you. You know what I'm saying? But they're really down with you, though. I can say they're really down for you.
Yeah, well, we had a lot of fun after the Florida win because we were in the huddle at some point. We were like, one of the things I was like, we're not just here for a check, we're here for the win too, you know. So, and they kind of rallied behind that rhetoric. And when we won the game, they were kind of yelling out, "You got to pay us still," you know. So like, you know, I think it was a real cool moment. Not just one of the biggest moments in Mount Eastern Shore basketball history. That was one of the biggest wins probably in the program history. You know, our program hadn't won on the road in a long time in non-conference, like 5 or 6 years. I found that out after the fact, you know, and just for us to win a game of that magnitude in Atlantic 10, you know, after not playing last year, I think we just wanted to have some fun in the locker room together. We're going to enjoy every win. That one meant a lot to us just for what we've been through, and to do it on that type of stage. We had some fun with it, man. So yeah, we broke the moves out a little bit, you know, had some fun. Our manager ran in there. He got the show popping a little bit. He was having fun out there. You know, I don't know where the speaker even came from, but hey, we just got it popping in there and had some fun.
Hear that, man. Wait, look, you're coming down my way to play at Charlotte and Ron Sanchez's team here in playing X-Ray on the 20th here. Tell me about that. You guys got finals here coming up as well. Getting that game in down here, man. Come down here near the ATL area. Maybe some guys see you and maybe want to come up there on the shore and get it in with you up there.
Come on and check us out, man. I don't know what the COVID protocol is in North Carolina for fans, but I know it was like lockdown city in New York. But hopefully we can get some people to come check us out. We go to North Carolina. But yeah, our guys are in finals right now. We got an off day today. Started finals yesterday. So everybody knows that you got to kind of back off a little bit and then kind of pick things back up later in the week as they kind of wrap up with finals. And then long bus trip down to Charlotte on Saturday, practice on Sunday, play on Monday. Then a quick turnaround. We got to play at GW on Wednesday to close out this first semester of games here. So, you know, 2 good teams coming up. And 2 money games or buy games or guarantee games, you would say. And we're going to try to see if we go out and sneak some more checks and get some more wins.
I think both of them are winnable games, personally.
Well, right now, you talk about 25 buy games have been going the other way or more. So, you know, I think when you look at it like that right now, the dynamic of this buy game thing, I think is going to dynamically change. You know, I don't think you're going to see teams paying this money that much because, you know, basketball is getting better, you know, at the lower levels, you know, coaches are getting better, recruiting is getting better, you know, administrations are getting better, you know, people are starting to do things at a higher level. And it's not going to be easy anymore to just give, well, you know, Maryland Eastern Shore $70,000, think it's just going to be a night off, you know, so, you know, it's just not going to happen. And so teams have got to start rethinking what they do in that regard. With that being said, yeah, we're going out next week to try to pick up 2 wins.
No doubt, man, no doubt. And bro, I gotta ask you about the Knicks first, because Hawks too. We're 13 and 12 respectively in Eastern Conference. The Knicks and the Hawks. So what are your thoughts? I have my thoughts on the Hawks. What are your thoughts on the Knicks? Tell me about that. And they bench Kemba Walker of all things.
You know what? I haven't been following it as much, as we've been in our season. I just saw the Stephen A. Smith comments, saying, "What are we doing? Get it together." So I know that they've been, if not under 500, looming around 500. And I think the disappointing thing is probably that they established a brand of basketball last year that looked very team oriented, a toughness on defense. And I don't think that the New York fans have seen that carry over. So there's been some inconsistency there. So hopefully they can get it figured out and the New York fans can feel good about their basketball team. It's been a long time since New York fans have been able to feel good about basketball in the Garden. So I know my man Spike Lee's up there struggling.
Well, I'll be there on Christmas Day, and I can tell you the problem with the Knicks, brother. Randall is a 3 at best, not a 2 or 1. Randall is a 3 on a good team, a 2 on a bad team at best. When he's your best player, you're not gonna go anywhere. That's the problem. And his knees are dead because of who he plays for. The man don't believe in rest or load management. So if I'm Kemba Walker, I'm out of rotation, I'm thankful. I save my knees. You playing Derrick Rose almost 40 minutes and you kill this man's career? Look, man. Derrick Rose.
I'm pulling up the roster right now.
Stockholm Syndrome, Jason. Why are you playing with a man that got you hurt in 2012? I wouldn't play with that man ever again in my life.
Yeah. I'm looking at the minutes right now. Yeah, they got some guys playing some high minutes, man. Yeah, 35 minutes a night for Randall. Wow. 35 minutes a night. But you got Kemba's only playing. He's only played 18 games. So he's
Kemba's out of rotation right now.
Yeah.
Kemba got benched.
RJ Barrett playing.
He don't defend.
Oh man, New York Knicks, man. Oh, what are we doing, Knicks? Come on, man. Let's go. We get it figured out, man.
Man, look.
But it's
Randall
low
stole that money, Jason. He took that 4-year deal. He stole that 117.
Well, I tell you what, you talk about load management. When I was with the Sixers, they did a great job. They had like a whole scientific department that was like they had the chips on the players, and they had this whole laptop, and they were managing this stuff. They would actually come on the court and say, "Hey, that's enough steps for Joe today," or "That's enough." They could tell you how much like weight he put on his knees by midweek and say like, "Hey, he can't go, but 45 minutes in tomorrow's session, or he needs to do this." So, I don't know what the Knicks do in that load management regard, but I know the Sixers were really good at that, And it was tough because Joe wanted to always play, but he started to buy into it when he saw the benefits of it come playoff time.
Well, the Knicks have it. Tibbs don't like it. That's what happens. Yeah. So like, it's also I said Derek, Stockholm Syndrome. He knows what I call him when I see him. Stockholm Syndrome. Man, you say it every time you see me. You know why? You playing for the exact man that got your knee hurt in 2012. You playing for him. No way. You shouldn't even be in that game against whoever y'all playing and tore up your ACL. Never should have been in the game. Yeah. I ain't gonna forget that, but you ain't forgot it. And then our Hawks. We don't defend, Jason, in the fourth quarter. We don't defend.
Yeah, well, you were talking about it earlier. We were chopping before we got on, and everybody wants to blame the coach, but now you're back in the same. How bad was it? Because you guys still, like it's always funny. Everyone blames the coach and stuff like that, and that's the easy scapegoat, but the players still have to get some things done. And,
hey, we're having to go with Timothy Luau Cabarro as your starting 3. That's not good because Bogdanovich is out. You got Hunter out. Okongwu was out. Solomon Hill tore his hamstring for the year. So those are all defenders. And then in the fourth quarter, you're going to bring back, you're going to play in Lou Williams and Trey together, not defensive stoppers. Yep. DeLon Wright, not a stopper. Hurd, not a stopper. So if it's Capella is our only line of defense. Collins tries, but he's not the best. And then you're going to double Trey. You're going to throw your big people at Trae Young now. This is the game plan now. Double him, blitz him, or throw somebody big on him. Just take away his flow.
But here's my thing. Now you guys are sitting down 11th in the Eastern Conference. You're under 500. How bad was it last year? You know what I mean? You see what I'm saying? Like how, it's always interesting to see some of these dynamics,
Well, Lloyd Pierce was fired because the star player didn't like him.
Yeah.
That's plain and simple why that happened. But what can Nate Millen do? He's not going to play Sharif Cooper or Johnson. He doesn't believe in playing rookies like that. So he's going to play Gorgie Jean, Gallinari off the bench with Lou Williams and DeLon Wright. He's not going beyond that.
Yeah. Well, here's the interesting thing, and actually, you reminded me about the scenario. So that's right. They get rid of Lloyd before the playoffs, and then they go on that big playoff
on March 1st. Yes.
Yeah. So, and now what you're getting to see right now is a legit sample size. See, now Nate gets a chance to have a full season. So now, when you rally the troops together like that in the springtime and then go on a playoff run, that's a lot different than a whole season. So what that whole organization has to do is they got to look at that body of work from last year, look at the body of work, whatever they do this year. And then they got to also look at that roster and see, like, are we built to be able to do what we want to do? So the body of work is always key. Those short stints are sometimes easy to do, but the entire year, that's a challenge. There's so many ups and downs. They got time before the trade deadline to make some moves too.
Well, Cam Reddish is probably looking to be gone. Though I told you that in the summertime. I knew that was going to happen in the summertime. I mean, these dudes getting paid all this money to say stuff I've known for months. That's funny. Shams and Woj making millions to say what I knew months ago.
Yeah. Obvious stuff.
Yeah, so I just think, like, look, man, our star player does not defend. He's try to hide him on the worst offensive player who doesn't leave it the worst. But if you put him in action, he can't hide. Like the Nets on Friday night, the Nets saved this. They went with Durant on Trae Young.
Yeah.
Couldn't get by him. Can't shoot over him. So you're forcing the ball out of his hand that way. So it's either going to be a blitz, hard hedge, or just put somebody bigger on him in the fourth quarter. And Nate says he's going to start trying to call more plays in the fourth quarter. That ain't going to change anything either. Because when in the fourth quarter, and in NBA, as you know this, Jason, teams save certain concepts for the fourth quarter.
Oh yeah.
And
yep.
And the Hawks' first 3 quarters playing against what I call the random stuff, but the good stuff is in the fourth quarter when it really matters. They're gonna go there, and can you adjust to it? Because they get people might be in foul trouble, the rotations, So yeah. So Trae Young, great offensive player. Defensively is a liability. But you're not going to bench him. He needs offense in the fourth quarter.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like you have to live with the results of defense. We're all talking about defense in Atlanta, but we don't have defenders on our roster.
Yeah, and that's why I think they got to look at the body of work and then look at the roster and see if the roster built to do what they want to do. At the end of the day, I mean, Lloyd Pierce is, can coach the game. Nate McMillan played the game. I mean, both those guys played and can coach. You know what I mean? Like, so, now you get a chance to kind of evaluate both styles, both situations, and really look at your roster. Because it's only so much a coach can do per the talent, on the team. So, and how the roster is built. You want to be a really good defensive team, well, you got to have good defenders. You want to be a great shooting team, well, you got to have great shooters. I think they have the shooting. There's no question about that. They've got the chance to space the floor out and make those things happen. Are they built to do some of the other things consistently? That's what they got to really look at.
And let's be honest about it. Lloyd Pierce didn't get a fair shake because he was tanking for 2 years.
Yeah.
And then last year's team was not even healthy. Nate got the full roster eventually at the end of the year to make that run. Yeah.
That's why I think it's always easy to just fire the coach. That's the easy scapegoat all the time. Not to mention all the COVID drama that you're going through, right? Like in the bubble year and all that type of stuff, and teams that played didn't play, and all the dynamics that I don't think did the Hawks play in the bubble.
No, they did not.
Yeah, so that's a hit right there. Like in terms of just building your chemistry and everything, and getting a new coach, some type of consistency and they get on a trajectory for success. So these things take time, man. But the only thing, the longest time is in New York right now. That's the longest time this kid taking. It's in New York. That's the longest time. But it's a long season, man. And we've all seen this stuff turn around. 13 and 14 right now. You got some things that can happen before the trade deadline that can dynamically change the roster. And you can go and flip that thing and go, in the next 30 games, you can go, 22-8, so, and now you don't even remember those first 30. So A lot of time left still in the NBA season to recover.
Now, this is me being the GM and I am, bro. I wouldn't have paid Herter early.
Okay, you said that last time we spoke. Yeah,
I wouldn't have given Capella his money early. I would have let it play out, so I can have the maximum to be flexible with the cap. Then he locked in the Herter for 4 years over $60 million of Herter. Capella got an extension. JC's was gonna happen, and now Reddish is pretty much on. You can't pay him. You've chosen Hunter over Cam Reddish. I would have let it all play out. Didn't decide who to pay and who to trade away.
That's why they gotta bring you in, man. Bring you in and let you crunch some numbers and like all that type of stuff. You always got the roster breakdown ready to go. You got more insight on it than me. I'm in my college game right now, but it's always fun to hear you break some of this stuff down. You got to just put it on paper and you got to submit it at the end of the game and tell them, just get me in the room. I want the boss man in the room to make some boss man moves.
Yes, because I can look at that cap and tell you, because look, I got started as a cap guy.
Yeah.
So I got my start on radio as a roster and cast. That's what I do. Roster, cap, that's my wheelhouse. So yeah. The Atlanta Hawks, Mr. Wrestler, Steve Koonin, bring me in the room. I can help you with some of these deals, man. I got you. Bro, like I said, man, it's always fun to chat with you, my brother. I'm happy for your success, brother. I really am. And I want you to keep winning and keep going, brother. Keep going strong.
I appreciate you, brother. We're going to keep building this thing, man. We're going to keep building this thing. Like I said, I appreciate your support over the years. And what we took over, what we inherited, what it's going to take to get this thing right. Is it a Herculean effort, that's never been done before. So we're excited to be the program that we feel like, and this team and this roster and this staff that's going to, change the culture here and put this program, in a different place and just keep pushing it forward. The wins are great, but we want to just keep working every single day to push the program forward. That's our goal.
Folks, this is Jason, not James.
James.
Jason Crafton here on the Bossman Show. Eastern Shore Hawks head coach. Check those guys out, man. Out of the MEAC.
Appreciate you, boss, man. One way. Hawk Pride. Peace, buddy.